There is something happening around you that you still cannot see with your eyes, but that you feel with an inexplicable depth inside your chest, as if a silent and powerful voice were constantly telling you that what is coming is greater than anything you have ever lived until now, as if the universe itself were reorganizing around you, so that everything that was promised about your life would finally be fulfilled in a way that will leave even those who doubted you completely speechless. You went through things that knocked people around you down. You carried weights that were not yours to carry. You faced betrayals that should have destroyed you. You crossed through seasons of darkness so dense that it seemed impossible to see any way out. And even so, you are still here, still standing, still breathing, still seeking. And that is not coincidence, that is not luck, that is not merely human willpower. That is a sign, that is proof, that is confirmation that there is an invisible and sovereign hand that has sustained your every step, even in the moments when you thought you were completely alone. Pay very close attention to what I am about to tell you now, because this video did not reach you by accident, and every word you are about to hear was prepared especially for the exact moment you are living right now, for the pain you are feeling, for the doubt that insists on appearing, and for the promise that still pulses inside your heart even after everything you have been through. Because you were chosen, and someone is already shaking in fear of what is about to happen in your life. Being chosen never meant having an easy path, never meant being spared from the most intense battles or protected from the deepest pains, because since the beginning of time, those who were chosen to fulfill a greater purpose were precisely the ones who suffered the most, the ones who were tested the most, the ones who had to descend into the depths of themselves to discover what had truly been deposited inside them before they were even born. You need to understand that the process you lived through was not punishment, it was not abandonment, it was not a sign that you were forgotten or that your prayers were ignored. Because every tear shed in the early hours of despair, every moment in which you felt invisible to the world, every door that was slammed in your face in a brutal and painful way, all of it was being used as building material for something that your mind still does not have the capacity to fully imagine, something that will transcend everything you ever dared to ask for or think about. There is an enormous difference between people who merely exist in the world and people who are called to transform it. And that difference is not in human ability, it is not in natural talents, it is not in intellectual capacity, or in the circumstances of birth. That difference lies in the fire that burns inside. It lies in the refusal to give up, even when everything around you screams for you to abandon the journey. It lies in the inexplicable persistence that keeps you awake when everyone else has already fallen asleep. And what you feel is your calling knocking on the door of your consciousness every single day. The enemy of your destiny knows the size of what you carry long before you yourself recognize it. And it is precisely for that reason that the greatest battles of your life came exactly when you were closest to taking the next step toward your mission. Because no general sends troops to attack a weak and insignificant enemy, and if you were attacked with such intensity, if you were the target of so many traps, betrayals, and attempts at destruction, it is because what is inside you represents a real threat to the forces that do not want to see your ascension take place. Think for a moment about everything that was thrown against you over the years, about all the situations that should have broken you permanently, about all the people who bet on your downfall and waited to see you fail, about all the moments when circumstances conspired against you in such a coordinated way that it seemed impossible to be mere coincidence. And now look at where you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing, still building, because no opposing force managed to extinguish you. And that is because you carry a protection that does not come from men. Before we continue, I want to take a quick pause because if this video has been useful to you so far, if you are feeling that every word is touching something deep inside your heart, then take this moment right now to subscribe to the channel, leave your like and write an amen in the comments below because your amen is a declaration of faith. It is a seed planted, and every person who shares this video is helping to carry this message to another chosen one who may be waiting to hear exactly what you are hearing right now. There is something prophetic that needs to be declared over your life at this exact moment, and it is this: what tried to destroy you did not manage to fulfill its objective, and the failure of that attempt did not go without consequence for whoever was behind it. Because when you survive what was designed to eliminate you, You do not come out merely unscathed. You come out stronger, wiser, sharper, better positioned, and what was once a weapon against you becomes a testimony in your favor. You were prepared for this time, refined in the embers of experiences that seem to have no meaning at all, but which are now beginning to connect in a way that reveals a pattern, a direction, an invisible thread that has always been guiding every chapter of your story toward a destiny that is greater than anything you would have chosen for yourself. Because the plans that were woven over your life before you were even born far surpass the limited vision you have of yourself in those moments of doubt and exhaustion. Do not underestimate what you are about to enter into. Do not underestimate the season that is being inaugurated in your story. Do not deceive yourself by thinking that just because things have not yet visibly manifested, they are not moving behind the scenes with a speed and a precision that will surprise you in a way that will only make sense when you look back someday and realize that everything was being aligned simultaneously while you were simply remaining faithful in the process. Faithfulness in the process is what distinguishes those who arrive from those who quit, just a few steps away from the turning point. And you who are here right now, watching this video, listening to every word with attention, are here because something inside you is still alive, still believing, still willing to keep going, even without seeing the full result. And that willingness, that yes, you give every day to your purpose, even without yet seeing what is coming, is the fuel that powers your journey as a chosen one. If you desire to connect more deeply with your spirituality and intentionally immerse yourself in the divine presence that is being poured out over your life in this season, the digital book called Walking with Jesus may be exactly the resource you need right now, because it contains 60 complete days of prayer, learning, and real transformation in your life, with carefully developed divine teachings designed to help you live with genuine purpose, prosper in every area, and have a spiritual experience so deep and indescribable that it will permanently change the way you see yourself, the world around you, and the calling that rests upon your life. This edition is available for a limited time only, so the link to access it is in the first comment right below. There is a prophetic dimension to the life of the chosen one that is rarely spoken about with the depth it deserves, because most people still associate the prophetic calling only with dramatic visions, spectacular dreams, or sudden revelations. But the truth is that the most powerful prophetic sign in the life of a chosen one is precisely their survival. It is the fact that you are still here after everything. It is the inexplicable persistence that kept you walking when any rational analysis would have said you should have given up a long time ago. When you understand that your story is in itself a prophetic message for the people around you, when you grasp that every scar you carry tells a story of victory and not of defeat, when you realize that your presence in certain environments has the power to transform the atmosphere and the destiny of other people who are watching your trajectory without you even knowing it, you begin to understand the weight and the responsibility of what it means to be a chosen one in this specific time of human history. There is someone who is shaking in fear of what is coming for your life, and this trembling is not a metaphor. It is not a figure of speech. It is not merely a poetic device to create emotion, because the forces that opposed you over the years felt before you did the weight and the potential of what is being prepared for this next season. And the fear they feel is directly proportional to the magnitude of what is about to be revealed, manifested, and established in your life in a way that will be impossible to ignore or deny. You need to stop acting as if you were an ordinary person in extraordinary circumstances, and start walking with the awareness that you are an extraordinary person being prepared for a time that demands everything that was developed inside you over years of trial. Because the difference between someone who merely survives the process and someone who actually becomes what they were called to be lies in the willingness to take on the identity that was conferred, to wear the mantle that was placed upon their shoulders, to walk with the authority that emanates from a genuine and tested calling. The formation process you went through was not only to strengthen you emotionally or make you more psychologically resilient, because there was a deep spiritual dimension in every situation that seemed to make no sense. There was an invisible school functioning in every phase of difficulty. There was a sculpting happening in every moment of pressure, and the sculptor never abandons his work in the middle of the process, never leaves the stone incomplete after dedicating so much time and precision to removing everything that was excess and revealing the form that was hidden inside the raw material from the very beginning. There are people who were placed in your path who have not yet fully revealed themselves, connections that have not yet been established but that are about to happen, encounters that will seem casual but that will carry the weight of a divine alignment prepared long ago, opportunities that will emerge from places you would never have imagined, and all of this will begin to move with a speed that will require you to be positioned, prepared, aligned, and with your identity firmly established, so that you do not stumble at the moment the doors begin to open. This is the moment to declare over your life, to open your mouth and bring into the realm of speech what has not yet manifested in the physical realm, because declaration has power, because the words you speak over yourself build or destroy the reality you inhabit. And a chosen one who learned to keep silent in the seasons of formation also needs to learn to release their voice in the seasons of proclamation, knowing that what is declared with faith and alignment does not return empty but fulfills the purpose for which it was sent. You did not come this far to live an ordinary life. You did not go through everything you went through to settle for the minimum. You were not refined through so many intense experiences to hide yourself and diminish yourself before a calling that is legitimate, verified and confirmed by the very circumstances that tried to destroy you and failed. Because the weight of what you carry does not match the timidity of someone who still does not fully believe in what was deposited inside them. Every person who tried to bring you down was unknowingly contributing to your formation. Every situation that seemed unjust was in fact adding a layer of depth and maturity that could not have been acquired any other way, because there are certain qualities that are only forged in adversity. There are certain levels of compassion that only emerge from those who have suffered. There are certain dimensions of wisdom that only develop in those who have walked through the darkest valleys and still found enough light to keep moving forward. They will not challenge you again. And this is not merely a statement of self-confidence or a posture of arrogance, but it is the declaration of someone who has finally understood the level of protection that operates over their life, who has understood that when the calling is genuine and when the formation was honest and deep, there is a covering that does not depend on human strength, an authority that does not need to be claimed with arrogance because it manifests naturally in the life of those who walked with integrity through the process. The season that is being inaugurated in your life will not ask permission. It will not arrive timidly. It will not present itself in a discreet manner and pass unnoticed, because everything that was held back, everything that was awaited, everything that was promised and has not yet manifested, is about to be released all at once. And when that happens, the same people who doubted your capacity, who bet on your defeat, who made a point of underestimating what you carried, will find themselves before such an undeniable evidence of your ascension that there will not be enough words to describe what they felt when they realized they had misjudged you. You were chosen for this time because this time needs exactly what is inside you. It needs the voice you have, the experience you have accumulated, the empathy you developed through the pains you lived, the strength that emerged from the weaknesses you faced, the wisdom that was distilled through the situations that could have destroyed you, but instead transformed you into something that the world is still learning to recognize, but that heaven has known by name for far longer than you can imagine. Before this video ends, I want to ask you something very special. Stay until the end. Do not close it now, because the last words you are about to receive were prepared especially to touch the deepest part of your heart. That part that sometimes you forget to take care of because you are too busy trying to fix everything around you. That part that needs to be reminded that it is not alone, that it is loved with an intensity that surpasses any human comprehension. And I want you to feel that. Right now, feel the real and tangible presence of the love of God over your life as you hear each of the words, I am still about to speak to you. The love that has sustained you until now was not a weak or conditional love. It was not a love that stood by your side only when you were well and productive and strong, but it was a love that descended with you into your most devastating falls, that remained present in your darkest nights, that kept believing in you when you yourself had lost faith in yourself, that never gave up, even when you doubted, even when you questioned, even when you cried out in pain and frustration without understanding why the path was being so difficult. This love that brought you this far is the same love that will lead you toward everything that is still to come, and you can walk with the confidence of someone who knows they are not navigating alone through unknown seas, but who is being guided by a hand that knows every storm before it arrives, that has already prepared the harbor before the journey even began, that has a complete and perfect plan that takes into account not only who you are today, but everything you are still becoming through each experience that is yet to come. You are deeply loved. You are completely seen. You are known in every detail of your fragile and at the same time extraordinary humanity, and this love that overflows over your life is the most solid foundation upon which you can build anything your heart was called to create, because what is built upon true love cannot be destroyed by any opposing force, cannot be shaken by any storm, cannot be stolen by any betrayal, because its foundation is eternal and unshakable and real. Feel it now in this moment. As these words reach your heart, feel the presence of the love that has always been with you. That was with you when you still did not know what this calling was. That was with you when you thought you were invisible and forgotten. That is with you now as you watch this video, and that will continue with you in every step of this journey that is still being written, because you are the chosen one, and what is coming will confirm that in a way that will take your breath away, restore your hope, renew your strength, and show the whole world what was being prepared inside you all this time.